Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. And today we'll be discussing the theory related to the chapter Cell, the Unit of Life. Okay, so today we'll be discussing the NCERT section 8.5.7. Okay, we'll also discuss 8.5.8 and 8.5.9. Okay, and this is the part 6 of the lecture. So before starting this lecture, just want to give you an information that the images, text, and other materials used in the presentations are for education purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners. If you are the owner and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@itk.ac.in and we shall remove the content immediately. Please note that parts of the content may have been generated using generative AI, which is experimental. So, what are the objectives of today's session? So, today we will understand the structure and the function of cytoskeleton components. Okay. So, cytoskeleton consists of these three components: microfilament, intermediate filaments, and microtubules. We'll talk about each of these components in detail. We will understand what are the difference between these three components. We'll also describe the organization and role of cilia and flagella in the cell movement. See, cilia and flagella, they are locomotory organs. Okay, they provide motility to the cell or to the organism. Clear? So we will talk about how the cilia and flagella, they are organized. So basically we'll be talking about the structure of the cilia and flagella. We'll also understand the structure and function of centrosomes and centrioles in the cell division. Okay, so we'll be understanding the role of centrosome and centrioles in the cell divisions. You must have studied about mitosis and meiosis. So we'll be studying about their roles in the cell division. We will also identify their roles in cellular organization as well as in the movement. Okay, so today we'll be talking about the cytoskeleton, which is NCERT section 8.5.7. We'll be talking about cilia and flagella, which is NCERT section 8.5.8. We'll be talking about centrosome and centrioles as well. Okay, we will summarize the entire lecture. Okay, we'll discuss the main points. We'll discuss some NCERT based questions related to these topics. There'll be some keynotes and there'll be some interesting questions, some interesting facts for you related to these topics. And in the end, there'll be some interesting questions that you have to analyze them critically. So they will enhance your critical thinking ability. So let's begin with this lecture. We are going to talk about cytoskeleton today. So let's understand what is cytoskeleton. How can we define cytoskeleton? So it is an elaborate network of filamentous proteinaceous structures. So these are proteins actually. Okay, proteins play a lot of role in the cell as well. Clear? So this cytoskeleton, this is proteinaceous structure and it is present in the cytoplasm. So now you know the location. Location is cytoplasm. And what they are made up of? They are made up of proteins. So you should learn like this. Then what is the function of cytoskeleton? So cytoskeleton consists of three components, but here we are talking about the overall function of the cytoskeleton first. Then we'll talk about the individual functions of the components. First is mechanical support. It provides mechanical support to the cell. Then helps in motility as well. It helps in the maintenance of the shape of the cell. So this is very important point here. Cytoskeleton helps to maintain the shape of the cell. If you remove the cytoskeleton from the cytoplasm, then what will happen? Okay, if somehow you can remove cytoskeleton from the cell, then the shape of the cell will change. Okay, it will affect the shape of the cell. Now let's talk about the components of the cytoskeleton. The first component is the microtubules, which are made up of tubulin proteins. Okay, then you have the microfilaments, which are made up of actin. Then there are intermediate filaments. Clear? So here you can see this is an image showing you cytoskeleton. So cytoskeleton you can see consists of microtubules. Here you can see these are the microtubules. It consists of microfilaments also and intermediate filaments as well. We have already discussed the function of the microtubules. Okay, the cytoskeleton. Cytoskeleton is a dynamic structure you can see. It is a network. You can see here, this is a kind of network of filamentous proteins within the cell. Okay, that provides structural support to the cell, means it helps in the maintenance of the shape of the cell. Okay, it helps in the cell movement. It enables the cell movement as well. Okay, it also facilitates the intracellular transport, means the transport within the cell. Intra means within the cell. Clear? Now, most important function was maintenance of the cell shape. Okay, let's talk about the main components of the cytoskeleton. We'll be talking about the microtubule first. So microtubule, as I have said, these microtubules are made up of a protein known as tubulin. Okay, so they are hollow cylindrical tubes made up of protein. Clear? Composed of alpha and beta tubulin dimers. There are two kinds of tubulin, alpha and beta tubulin. So they are joined together to form dimers. So it consists of alpha and beta tubulin dimers. What is the length of the microtubule? So it is 25 nanometer in diameter. Okay, it is a dynamic structure and it can grow as well as it can shrink also. Thereby, it can help by growing and shrinking. It can help in cell intracellular movement also. Okay, it provides motility also. Here you can see this is the image showing you microtubule. They've shown you the cross section also. So you can see they are hollow from inside. Okay, so they have a cavity inside and these are cylindrical structures. These are cylindrical tubes made up of tubulin, alpha and tubulin dimers. So you can see this is alpha tubulin, this is beta tubulin. Together they are forming a tubulin dimer. Okay, so alpha tubulin is labeled with this red and beta tubulin is labeled with this yellow. So you can see they are made up of the dimers. These dimers are attached to each other and they form this cylindrical tube-like structure. Okay, this is a very simple structure you can see. Okay, now let's talk about the functions of the microtubule. So these microtubules are very essential components of the cell. Okay, they also act as a structural element as well. They play a very critical role in cell division also. They play a very important role in intracellular transport also and cell motility. Clear? Now remember this, microtubules, they also act as railways for cellular transport. Like you have the railway system, the cargo, you can say the cargo is transferred from one place to another place. Okay, so through rail system you can transport the material. So microtubules, they act as railways for the cellular transport. Okay, so they maintain cell structure and they give support to the cell. They are involved in intracellular transport. That's why they are known as the railways for the cellular transport. Okay. They help in cell division by forming this mitotic spindle. So they are involved in spindle formation. So what happens during cell division or what happens during mitosis? These microtubules forms the mitotic spindle. So spindle fibers are formed. These spindle fibers are made up of microtubules. And what is the function of these microtubules? Or what is the function of the spindle fibers? These spindle fibers are crucial for separating the chromosomes into daughter cells. If the spindles are not formed, then the chromosome will not separate. So this can lead to disorders. Okay, this can lead to polyploidy also. Okay, so these microtubules, they help in the cell division. How they help in the cell division? By forming these spindles. These spindles are made up of microtubules. What is the function of microtubules? They help in the separation of the chromosomes. So there are some chemicals which prevent the formation of this spindle. Okay, so they can induce polyploidy in the cells. Okay, they help in the cell movement also. Clear? We will talk about the cilia and the flagella as well, how they help in the cell movement. They help in the cell motility also. So microtubules, they are the fundamental, means they are the basic components of cilia and flagella. Cilia and flagella, they both are involved in what? What is the function of cilia and flagella? Cilia and flagella, they are involved in cell movement. Clear? So microtubules, they are the major component of cilia and flagella as well. So that's why they are involved in cell motility or cell movement, you can say. Okay. Next is organization of the cellular components. This is also a very important function of the microtubules. What are cellular components? Organelles. These are the components of the cell. Here, this image we have discussed is the structure showing you the structure of the microtubule. Okay, so all these functions are clear. Cell structure and support. It helps to maintain the cell shape. Okay, so overall shape of the cell is maintained by the microtubule. Then intracellular transport we have discussed. These microtubules, they act as motor proteins. Clear? And they transport what? They help in the transport of what? They help in the transport of organelles, the vesicles, and some other molecules within the cell. Okay, cell division we have discussed, cell movement we have discussed, and they are also involved in organization of the cellular components as well. Okay, now next one is the intermediate filaments. So as the name suggests, intermediate. So these filaments are intermediate in size, means they are around 8 to 12 nanometer. Nano means 10 raised to a minus 9. And they are made up of various fibrous proteins like keratin or vimentin. Remember this. They are made up of keratin or vimentin. So vimentin is a kind of structural protein. Keratin, you must be knowing about keratin also. It is present in your hairs and nails as well. Now, they primarily provide structural support, resistance tension, and anchor organelles as well. So these are the some of the role of the intermediate filament. Okay, you should know about the size of the intermediate filament as well. So this is an image showing you intermediate filament. They're made up of fibrous proteins, you can see. Okay, which is keratin or the vimentin. Again, you should know the functions of these. The first one is the structural support. Okay, this is the major function. It is the structural component of the cell. It provides mechanical support, and this also helps to maintain the shape of the cell. Clear? Now let's move on. We were talking about the intermediate filament. First is it gives mechanical strength to the cell. So it gives mechanical support to the cell. Clear? It is flexible tissue also. So intermediate filaments, they are flexible. They act like flexible tendons. Okay. Now these intermediate filament provide tensile strength, you can see. So these act like flexible tendons in your body. So they provide tensile strength that helps cells resist stretching and deformation. This is also a very important role of intermediate filament. Okay. Next is scaffolding. They form a network within the cell, anchoring the nucleus. Okay, so they anchor organelles. So they anchor the nucleus, organizing other cytoskeleton components and maintaining the cell shape. Okay, this is another very important function of intermediate filaments. Next one, cell to cell and cell to matrix interaction. So intermediate filaments connect to the cell junctions like desmosomes and hemidesmosomes and focal adhesions, contributing to tissue integrity. So they help in, simply you can say, in cell to cell or cell to matrix interaction. So they are connecting. Okay, intermediate filaments, they connect to the cell junctions. Junction is a point where two things are meeting. Okay, next one are the microfilaments. Now, what is microfilaments made up of? So microfilaments are basically polymers of the globular protein actin. Okay, so that's why microfilaments also known as actin filaments. They are also very thin and they are very flexible also. And they perform a lot of functions. We'll talk about the functions of microfilaments as well. So microfilaments are polymers made up of globular protein actin. Means actin, they combine together to form this microfilament. Now, these actin, they combine together forming two intertwined strands that twist around each other in a helical structure. So like DNA is a helical structure. Microfilaments are also helical structure. Okay. So you can see they are the thinnest filaments. They're very thin. Okay, they are the thinnest filament of the cytoskeleton. So question can come here, which filament is the thinnest? So answer will be microfilament. And the diameter is only about 7 nanometer. So here you can see this is the structure showing you microfilament. Okay, this is the structure of the microfilament. So this is the filamentous actin. This is made up of actin. Okay. This is the G actin, you can see. And you can see this is the helical structure. So it forms two intertwined strands. These strands are made up of actin. So actin molecules, they are joined together to form a polymer of microfilament. And there are two strands which are intertwined together like DNA double helix. Okay. Now, actin monomers, they join together, they assemble together to form the polymer with a distinct polarity. Okay, with the plus sign or with the plus end, also known as the barb end, and a minus end, also known as the pointed end. So in the image, we have seen the plus end and the minus end as well. Microfilament can be organized into various structures, such as parallel bundles, for example, in microvilli, or it can form networks also. So here you can see this is image showing you microfilament. So here you can see one is the negative end, another one is the positive end. The plus end is known as the barbed end, minus end is known as the pointed end. Here you can see more G-actin is being added here. Okay, this is the ATP molecule, and here you can see this is the G-actin. Now, what are the functions of the microfilament? So microfilament helps in cell movement. It also helps in cell division, and it also helps in maintaining the cell shape as well. All of these three components are involved in maintaining the cell shape. They are also a very key component of cytoskeleton. Clear? And provide structural support also to the cell. And they help in they enable the dynamic changes which is occurring within the cell. Dynamic means everlasting, ever changing. Okay, whenever you say something dynamic, means it is ever changing. Okay, functions of microfilament. First is maintain the cell shape and support. So microfilament contribute to maintaining cell shape and provide structural support to the cell, particularly in the cell cortex, which is the region just beneath the plasma membrane. Okay, it helps in the cell movement. So they play a crucial role in cell motility, including the amoeboid movement, okay, crawling movement, and cell migration as well. Okay, so you must be knowing about the amoeboid movement, like in amoeba, pseudopodia are formed. So these microfilament, they help in, or they provide cell motility. They help play a very crucial role in cell motility. Then muscle contraction, this is very important role. In muscle cells, also known as muscle fibers actually, microfilament along with the myosin are essential for the muscle contraction. So muscles, they are made up of two kind of proteins, actin and myosin. So microfilament, which is made up of actin, is also known as actin filament. So along with myosin, these both play a very important role in muscle contraction. Okay, then they also play a role in cytokinesis. So during cell division, what happens? Karyokinesis is followed by cytokinesis. Karyokinesis means nuclear division. It is followed by the cytokinesis. Okay, so during cell division, a ring of microfilaments contracts to divide the cytoplasm, separating the two cells. Okay, so what happens in cell division? Nuclear division, which is followed by the division of the cytoplasm. Division of cytoplasm is known as cytokinesis. Okay, so what does this microfilament do? These microfilament, they will form a ring. Okay, and this ring will contract. It will divide the cytoplasm. Okay, and it will divide this cytoplasm equally in the two daughter cells. Okay, so organelles and the nucleus, they are distributed equally in the daughter cells. Clear? So you can see they play a very important role in cell division as well. Even microtubule also, which form spindles, they also play a very important role in forming spindles through which the chromosomes get separated. Okay, now let's talk about the cilia and the flagella. Okay, so what are these actually? So cilia and flagella, they are hair-like outgrowths of the cell membrane. Okay, they are this outgrowth of the cell membrane, also known as the plasma membrane. What is cilia? Cilia are small structures that work like oars, causing the movement. So you must have seen, you must be knowing about the oars. Okay, whenever there is a, you can say, boat competition, so these oars are used, okay, to push the boat. So these cilia are like oars, they work like oars, and they lead or they cause movement. So they provide motility to the cell. Now flagella are comparatively longer as compared to cilia and responsible for the cell movement. Here you can see this image showing you cilia and flagella. Okay, so this is the flagellum, you can see. This is the plasma membrane. Okay, so we will discuss this structure, then you will be able to better understand this image. Okay, this is structure of flagella, you can see. Okay, so here you can see these are the, we'll discuss this structure also. Okay, we'll discuss this 9+2 arrangement also, which is also known as exoneme. Okay, just remember all these terms, we'll discuss these terms. Let's talk about the internal structure of the cilia and flagella. So the core is known as the exoneme. So exoneme possesses a number of microtubules. Okay, we have studied earlier that microtubules or cilia and flagella, they are made up of these microtubules. So exoneme, this possess a number of microtubules running parallel to the long axis. Now the exoneme usually has 9 doublets of radially arranged peripheral microtubules and a pair of centrally located microtubules. So this is known as 9+2 array. Okay. Now both cilium and flagellum emerge from a centriole-like structure called the basal body. So here you can see this is the structure of the exoneme, you can see. Okay, so this is exoneme. Okay, this is the, you can see 9+2 arrangement can be seen here. So these are 9 doublets of the microtubules. Okay, these are peripheral microtubules and they are doublets, they are pairs, they are in pairs, and they are in total 9. If you count, they will be 9. So there are 9 peripheral doublet microtubules and there are 2 central microtubules. So this is known as 9+2 arrangement and this is known as the exoneme. Okay, they have labeled here also. This is the central microtubule and these are the peripheral microtubules which are doublets. This is the plasma membrane, you can see. Okay, then these are the radial spokes. Okay, radial spokes, this connect this doublets, okay, peripheral microtubules, okay, to this central sheath. Okay, now cilia and flagella, both of them emerge from a centriole-like structure called the basal body. In the previous image, I've shown you the basal body also. Okay, this 9+2 arrangement is very important. Okay, let's talk about the centrosome and the centrioles now. Now, an organelle usually found in the animal cells. So these centrosomes and centrioles, they are present in the animal cells, not in the plant cell. Okay, the centrosome contains 2 cylindrical structures called centrioles. So centrosome, within centrosome, 2 centrioles are present. Okay, now the centrioles, they lie perpendicular to each other and have an organization like a cartwheel. Clear? So there are 2 centrioles. The centrioles are perpendicular to each other. So you can see here, this is the centros. You can see these are the centrioles here. These are 2 centrioles and they are perpendicular to each other. You can see 90 degree to each other. Okay, this is also centrioles. So they are present in animal cells. Okay, this is the nucleus. Within the nucleus, chromosomes are present. Nucleus is surrounded by a nuclear envelope. Okay, these are the chromosomes. They are attached to a point known as a centromere. These are spindles which are forming with the help of microtubules. Okay, so these centrioles, from the centrioles, these microtubules are, you can say, arising. Now, we have discussed it has a cartwig-like appearance. So these are made up of 9 evenly spaced peripheral fibrils of tubulin proteins. Okay, again there are 9 peripheral fibrils of tubulin proteins. Each peripheral fibril is a triplet. So like we have discussed in exoneme, there were 9 peripheral microtubule. Here they are 9 peripheral fibril made up of tubulin, but they are in triplet. Okay, adjacent triplets are also linked. So you can see here, this is the image of the centrioles. This is the cross section of the centriole, and it has a cartwig-like appearance. Okay, these are the microtubule triplet, which are peripheral. These are peripheral microtubule triplet. Okay, you can see there 1, 2, and 3. Okay, adjacent triplets are also linked. So these are adjacent triplets, and they'll be in total 9. Okay, they are connected to each other. You can see these are connected to each other. So this is a cross section of the centriole. Okay, so exoneme, and this is different centriole. Okay, they are only present in animal cells. These arise from the basal body of cilia and flagella. Okay, form the spindle fibers. Centrioles, they form the spindle fibers that give rise to spindle apparatus during cell division in the animal cell. So this is the role of the centrioles. They form spindle fibers. This image we have already discussed. Okay, so now we have discussed the theory. Now let's summarize this entire lecture. Okay, we talked about the cytoskeleton today. So cytoskeleton is a dynamic network. It is ever-changing network of protein filaments. Okay, it is all made up of proteins. It is made up of tubulin. It is made up of actin. Okay, it is made up of, we have seen G-actin. Okay, now cytoskeleton is a dynamic network of protein filaments that provide structural support, cell shape maintenance, and cellular movement. This is the overall function of the cytoskeleton. Cilia and flagella both are cellular projections. Okay, they are the extension of the cell membrane. They have similar structures. Okay, but they have little bit different functions. Okay, cilia and flagella have 9+2 arrangement of the microtubules. Okay, so 9+2 arrangement is seen in the exoneme. Centrosome and centrioles are involved in cell division organization, microtubule organization, formation of the spindle fibers. Then centrioles are cylindrical structures made up of 9 triplets of the microtubules. Okay, we have seen the cartwheel-like arrangement also here. Okay, there was the peripheral triplets of the you can say tubulin protein. Now here are some NCERT based questions. So what is the first question here? Microtubules are made up of which protein? This is a very simple and straightforward question. Options are actin, tubulin, myosin, or keratin. What will be the correct answer? Okay, the correct answer here will be, let's have a look at the correct answer. So option number B means tubulin is the right answer. Okay, microtubules are made up of tubulin proteins. So basically, they are made up of alpha and beta tubulin dimers. Now, these subunits form heterodimers that polymerize to form the microtubules. Each microtubule is composed of 13 protofilaments arranged in a hollow cylindrical structure. So it is a hollow cylindrical tube. The next one, which of the following is not a component of the cytoskeleton? Okay, options are microfilament, microtubules, intermediate filament, and ribosomes. What will be the correct answer? All right, so option number D is the right answer here. Okay, ribosomes is the correct answer. So cytoskeleton has three main components: microfilaments, which are made up of actin, microtubules, and then intermediate filaments. Now, ribosomes are protein-making organelles, not the part of the cytoskeleton. Ribosomes are responsible for protein synthesis, while the cytoskeleton provides structural support and helps with the cellular movement as well. Now, next question. During cell division, centrosomes form the nuclear membrane, organize the spindle fibers, synthesize proteins, or form the cell membrane. What will be the correct answer? So let's have a look at the answer. So answer will be option number B, organize the spindle fibers. Okay, so centrosomes are cell organelles that act as microtubule organizing centers. They're essential for mitosis and meiosis. Now, what happens during cell division? They duplicate before the division begins. They move to the opposite pole of the cells and they help form and organize the mitotic spindle fibers. And then they guide chromosome movement during the cell division. Okay, next one. What is the main difference between cilia and flagella? So what are the options? A is basic structure, B is length and number per cell, C is protein composition, fourth is movement pattern. What would be the correct answer? So let's have a look at the answer. The option number B is the correct answer. Length and number per cell. Okay, let's have a look at the explanation. So flagella is longer. It is 10 to 200 micrometer in. Okay. Now cilia is shorter, 2 to 10 micrometer. Number per cell. Flagella is usually 1 to 2 per cell and cilia can be many. Okay, it can be in 100 to thousands. Next question, the region around the centrioles containing proteins is called. Options are centromere, pericentriolar material, kinetochore, or centrosome matrix. What will be the correct answer? Okay, option number B will be the correct answer. Pericentriolar material. Let's have a look at the explanation. See, pericentriolar material is the protein-rich region surrounding the centrioles. It forms part of the centriosome structure. Now, PCM contains protein necessary for microtubule nucleation and organization. It helps in cell division and organization of the cellular components. Now let's discuss some keynotes. So cilia and flagella are microscopic. They are hair-like projection from the cell surfaces that help in cell movement. Then the movement of substances along the cell surfaces, while centrioles are cylindrical. Okay, these centrioles are only present in the animal cell. They are cylindrical cell organelles which are involved in cell division. Okay, both cilia and flagella have a similar internal structure called the axoneme, consisting of 9 pairs of microtubule arranged in a circle. Around the two central microtubules means there is a 9 plus 2 arrangement. Now, main difference between cilia and flagella is their length and number per cell. Cilia are shorter, but they are more in number. Flagella are longer, but typically appear in smaller numbers, just 1 or 2. Centrioles are typically found in animal cell and function as organizing centers for microtubules during cell division, helping to form the mitotic spindle. And the base of both cilia and flagella contains a basal body, which is structurally similar to the centriole and acts as an anchor point. Okay, some interesting questions for you. You have to explain the role of cytoskeleton in the cell division and cytokinesis. Now, next question, what is the primary cilium? How does it differ from motile cilia? Next is, how do defects in ciliary function lead to various human diseases? And how do centrosomes duplicate before cell division? And why is this process crucial? Next one is, what happens when cells have abnormal number of centrosomes? Okay, another interesting question is, the centrioles are present in animal cell. Okay, so what is present in plant cell then? Okay, so centrioles are not present in plant cell. So what is present in plant cell? How the cell division is occurring? How the spindles are forming there? So these are the interesting questions for you. Okay, so we have discussed the theory now. Now let's discuss the DPP related to these topics. So here is the first question. Okay, 4 options are given to you. You have to tell which of the following is not a function of the cytoskeleton in a cell. First is providing mechanical support to the cell. Okay. Second is facilitating cellular motility, for example, cilia flagella movement. Third is do cytoskeleton synthesize ATP for energy production. Fourth one is maintaining the shape of the cell. What would be the correct answer? Okay, so you can see here the correct answer will be option number C. Okay, cytoskeleton is not involved in synthesizing ATP. ATP is produced by mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell, not cytoskeleton. Cytoskeleton function is to maintain the cellular shape. It provides mechanical support to the cell. It helps in cellular motility. It helps in cell movement. It helps in intracellular transport. Okay, so option number C is the correct answer here. Next one, the internal structure of cilia and flagella primarily consists of which cytoskeleton component? Okay, so does it consist of microfilament, which is made up of actin, and they are known as the actin filament? Now, next one, do they consist of intermediate filament? Okay, option number C is microtubule arranged in 9 plus 2 pattern, and fourth is keratin filament. What is the correct answer? See, option number C will be the correct answer here. So cilia and flagella consist of the axoneme. In axoneme, the microtubules, there are 9 peripheral doublet of the microtubules. Okay, and there is 2 central microtubules. So there is a 9 plus 2 arrangement. That's why option number C is the correct answer. Next one, which cytoskeleton element is most directly involved in muscle contraction? The options are microtubules, microfilaments, which consist of actin, intermediate filaments, and centrioles. What will be the correct answer? Okay, the correct answer here will be microfilaments, which is option number B. So, these actin filament along with the myosin, they are involved in muscle contraction. Next one, if a cell loses its cytoskeleton components, then which of the following would be the most immediate consequence? Now, options are inability to replicate the DNA, means it cannot do the process of replication, means the DNA duplication process. Next is loss of cell shape and structural integrity. Third one is cessation of all metabolic activities, means all the biochemical reaction will stop. And fourth is disintegration of the nuclear membrane. What will be the correct answer? See, here cytoskeleton. What is the function of cytoskeleton? It maintains the cell shape and okay, it gives structural support to the cell. It gives mechanical support to the cell. Clear? So option number B will be the correct answer here. If the cytoskeleton, okay, or if the cell loses the cytoskeleton components, then it will lose its cell shape and structural integrity. Option number B is the correct answer here. Next one. Next question is, which of the following statements about intermediate filament is correct? Means you have to choose a true statement here. The options are, they are the thinnest among the cytoskeleton elements. Next is, they are composed of tubulin proteins. Option number 3, they are tissue specific, for example, keratin in epithelial cell. And fourth one, they dynamically assemble and disassemble in the like the microfilament. What would be the correct answer? Okay, so correct answer here will be option number C. They are tissue specific. For example, keratin in the epithelial cell and vimentin. This is also a structural protein. Okay. So we have discussed the DPP also. Okay. All our questions are correct. So with this, we will end this session. I hope this session was quite knowledgeable for you. Now we'll meet you in the next session. Thank you all the students for listening and attending this session.